clown. Go ahead and switch on over, make sure everything's working. Okay. I will say, Mortal Kombat really has a good, like, track record of, menu themes and, like, character selects, always just sounding really fucking good. Back out of here. I should have probably been in, like, the practice thing, but, you know, it's fine, we learn. We live and we learn. Mortal Kombat 11. Most recent Mortal Kombat 2 release. That will change in about a week when Mortal Kombat 1 releases. I cannot fucking wait, dude. I'm so excited. This game was very different. Just gonna start with that. This game played much slower to Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 9. They tried to kind of tweak things to make the game... more strategic, I guess. Like, you couldn't just, like, combos were still a thing, but they weren't not like as much of a thing as they kind of used to be. That's not to say like combos just didn't exist, but like they were much more of a rarity, I feel. Like, really high damage combos weren't for every character. Some characters, like we'll see like a guest character later, literally was a pure zoner and had maybe like 1 or 2 combos you could do in general, but other than that, you were mostly playing footsies and playing neutral in this game a lot more than other games. As well, like, I didn't hate this game. This game definitely feels like the best to play. Like, they definitely got the systems right in this game. But it builds upon the variations from MKX, where, I'll show you here, like, you pick certain abilities to bring in. Instead of just having, like, 3 locked variations, you have your own variations you can make with whatever moves you want to bring in. You can bring in 1, 2, or 3 moves, you have the choice, or depending on how many ability slots each move used. But, I think this has one of the biggest rosters, not counting Armageddon. At least of the NRS era, I think this has the biggest roster. Because we had, I think, 20-something, 25, 26 base roster characters. 6 characters in the first DLC, and then 6 more, and then 2 more DLCs after that. So 12 DLC characters, which is pretty fucking insane. I think 12. 11 or 12 DLC characters. Like, they went crazy. Not to mention Shao Kahn was a pre-order bonus. Like, they went all out with characters in this game. I think this has one of the biggest rosters of the Mortal Kombat games. But, they did change... They changed the X-rays. I mentioned this before. What is... practice options. There we go. So, instead of X-rays and them using 3 meter, because you can see they changed meter in this game, you no longer have 3 bars, you now have 4 bars, but 2 are offensive, 2 are defensive, and they refill automatically. So you're kind of encouraged to use your amplified moves more. And they introduce a new, like, super move called the Fatal Blow that is triggered when you go under 30% health. And essentially it's just like an X-ray, but it's more of a super move, kind of like Injustice, with like impact moments, rather than like the X-ray moves we've seen before where you see like the bones breaking. Those were sent to crushing blows, which is basically certain conditions are met, you hit your opponent, you get like a little X-ray moment where you see like the bone break, and either you get big damage, you get a combo, or some other effect. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the Fatal Blows in this game. I think some of these are really good, and I think some of these definitely could have benefited from just being an X-ray. So, let's go ahead and get into it. I mean, that is a pretty fucking good Fatal Blow. Because, I mean, that is... I mean, Shang Tsung is the shapeshifter. I think having him just shapeshift into all the different, like, ninjas that are in this game, I think is a really cool idea for a Fatal Blow, and I think they do it very well. They all kind of flow very well, and everyone chains together in ways that make sense. Definitely a very cool Fatal Blow. We have Shao Kahn's. You know, I think this... I'm gonna pause because he's gonna do it again. I want to wait for a second. I think that one benefits so much from Shao Kahn. Like, Shao Kahn's a big fucking character. I'm gonna play here. He's a big fucking character, and this is a really good job of showing that. Like, every hit feels very impactful. Like, every hit feels very impactful. I think they do a really good job of, just making you feel the power of Shao Kahn. You want to put the bed in it? Okay, Daddy. Look at you up there. Oh, there you go. Alright, Frost. This would be Frost's first appearance on the main roster. The first time since essentially Armageddon, but if we're talking like non-Armageddon, I believe Deadly Alliance. But she's got some cybernetic powers now, so we'll go ahead and see how that kind of affects her moves. Oh, that's right, hers is a full screen. So I think, yeah, you kind of get the idea of what I mean by, like, impact hits. Just, like, big hits that you just get, like, that spray of blood, basically. This one is pretty cool. Her making, like, a whole, like, just, like, ice landscape that she just beats the shit out of you with. I think that's pretty good. It kind of shows, like, her power with ice. Do not worry. Man, that does such a good job of actually showcasing all of what Nightwolf has. Like, remember in MK9 with Nightwolf, because that was the last time we saw him, where he could do one of those? Remember MK9 when Nightwolf just axed you in the back with like 2 tomahawks and then kicked you in the spine and that was it? And my whole thing was like, Nightwolf has so much shit, like the lightning, the blades, his arrows, and they don't use any of it. And he finally got a good fucking like super move, like a good like kind of like super, cause that shit was awesome. That was just him using the whole kit. He throwing everything at you. I think that is like the best thing for him. Do we use the Lyndon Ashby skin? You know what? Why not? We'll use Lyndon Ashby, Johnny. Yeah, it's like, I just want Nightwolf to have, like, some cool looking moves. And that's definitely one of the coolest he's had, like, just, like, both fatality and, like, X-ray super-wise, like, that's definitely the best he's gotten in a long time. So the Joker, I think both these characters actually have a hold. What's funny, I kind of forgot, both these characters actually have a thing where you can cancel out of their fatal blows, and they both have big benefits for doing so. So it's kind of funny I picked them together. That's a pretty good one. Just the like the steps at the beginning are like, yeah, like that's whatever. Him doing a bloody smile was pretty good. And obviously filling the screen with blood is classic Mortal Kombat. Alright, Johnny, what you got? You know, I like that it's basically like his X-Ray from MKX, but they actually do a good thing here with the trophy. Just throwing in that little bit of, like, Johnny flair. Just that little bit of, like, Johnny-specific flair that you kind of want to see. Plus, again, it's a thing that it's a super move that flows super well. Stand down. Which you always like to see a super that flows. I always like super moves if they just, like, even if, like, they're not as flashy, if they just flow really well. This reminds me, like, coming over to some of these characters remind me how many characters actually got, like, lowered health because of how strong they were at the time. God, yeah, good. Yeah, I feel like the ending is just a bit lackluster, but I do like the beginning with her kind of using all of her tools. You actually get Sonya using her energy rings. It's a good use of the turret as well. I just think the final hit the final like head stomp could have been a bit better. This is a jump one. Yeah, it sure is. I think if I just move in. Okay. I mean, compared to like her X-Ray from MKX, this is definitely weaker. I don't think it's terrible. I think the kneecap shots are like probably the flashiest part of it. But I think compared to like her MKX X-Ray, there's not really as much that that's like special about it, you know? But I know Cassie is just like, she's the one with the guns, but that feels like one any character could kind of do. And I feel like the green glow effects on her kind of just felt like an afterthought to like make it more related to her. All right, Jax, what do you got? I mean, that's a pretty good one because it's just Jax laying at you, and it's actually even for utility, it's actually pretty good because you see his arms getting red. Jax had a mechanic in this game called heated arms, where basically, what is it? Yeah, he can like, he would heat up his arms and he could like shoot. Yeah, there it is. Like some of your moves I think got more damage and you got like projectiles and stuff you could use. So, like, not only is that just, like, a really good-looking, like, fatal blow for Jax, he just pummels you, but it's also... I did not do that. It's actually just good utility because it gives you the heated arms. I mean, I'm not even biased towards Spawn, but that's pretty fucking cool. Just bringing out the whole arsenal of guns and then the 2 demon claws. Like the kind of action shot at the end of like the big green explosion I could kind of care less about. But the first two hits with like the essentially armory of guns he just keeps in his cape, and then you throw in the like the demon claws that just kind of rip into you. That's a pretty fucking cool fatal blow. I definitely feel like they were more creative with the fatal blows compared to the X-rays. The X-rays were cool, but it still kind of felt like they were going for the shock of like, oh my god, you're watching their bones break. This like still kind of feels like it has like some shock factor to it, but it feels like also they're kind of just like being a bit more creative on what these characters can do in a super. So let's see Scorpions. Man, he really works the shit out of your eyes. I think I kind of forget this with this one, but I remember it every time I see it again. This one really isn't that good. I don't know if it's a case of, like, Scorpion's the default kind of character. Like, he is, like, the main guy, so you just kind of... that is weird. That is... Like, there's so much more you could do with Scorpion, and that's weird that they gave him one that's essentially him just stabbing your eyes 3 times. Alright, I'm definitely a bit biased. I'm gonna admit right now. I'm biased because Noob Saibot's he was my main in this game. Like, he was the character I played the most in this game. So I'm definitely biased. But this is just a really fucking cool super. This is like some tag team WWE style shit right here. Like, Noob and his clone literally are just doing like some WWE tag team wrestling at that point. I don't even care how kind of, I guess, like generic some of the moves are, like the double drop kick, like the double leg drop kick and all that. But his clone running you into his leg, like, he really doesn't move. He kind of runs forward and does the kick, but he's not really moving that much. It's mostly the clone pushing you into his legs. The double leg drop kick is a really good start, and I think the sickle through the head, even though we're gonna see that's a very common thing of like blade weapon through head in like that manner. It was like through the jaw. That's a good ender. I think the weakest part is the middle hit where he drops from the sky portal and then kind of lands on your head. Also, I just noticed that he's wearing a fucking turtleneck in this outfit. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Do I have... Oh, sure, why not? We'll use movie skin Raiden. I thought I had that on. I don't know, I get the feeling Baraka's gonna have a very Baraka fatal blow. Oh, I forgot about that. I mean, the flag hit's a little bit like... I get why they do it, so it's like, oh, you get the flag bonus, but I think it's like a damage boost. But I mean, him stabbing your hand in your chest is a pretty... and it's just stuck there, that's pretty cool. And the stab to the head's also like a neat little thing. I think for sure the coolest part of that is him pinning your hand to your chest. It's actually a very unique thing to do with his blades. Oh yeah, Raiden's fatal blow kind of sucks in this game. I forgot. He relies way too much on the pole. You know, I don't think I would have a problem with this if we saw Raiden using this, like, the pole, like the lightning staff more often. But considering, like, we saw him use it a little bit in MKX in a cutscene, and then in one fatality we see it return. But other than that, you really don't see Raiden using his lightning staff that much. So to see him use it, like, I don't mind him using it more in this game, but to see his Fatal Blow only utilizing that and not doing some cool stuff with lightning, kind of like we saw with Nightwolf, where he, like, shocked you at the end of his. Like, I kind of wish we saw that instead. So it's kind of a shame that, his is very light, especially compared to his MKX X-Ray, where he sends you into the heavens to shock you. Like, that is very much a downgrade when it comes to supers. That's unfortunate. I think that's like a little bit of a low spot in his supers as well. Cause I know his super in Injustice 2, and from what we've seen of his super in MK1, like, they're really fucking good. So that's a shame. Two Jackies. That's a pretty good one. Like, it's a bit weird that it uses her gauntlets pretty well. You get like a bunch of use for her gauntlets, and like the new shield grenades that she has in this game. I don't know, like, whatever kind of grenades that she has in this game, the, like, shield ones. It's a good way to use that to, like... But the shot of them flying back towards the shield is... Or flying back towards the wall is really cool. You know, it's definitely a bit more generic. Which, kind of like Scorpion, this is a bit more generic. I think the blood freezing as it comes out definitely helps it a lot. Like, overall, I think it's okay, but I think the freezing of the blood is a really nice, like, detail, a really nice touch that makes it look much better than it actually is. Don't I have... Oh yeah, he's got like a cyborg skin. We'll just do that. Or it's not cyborg, I think it's supposed to be like Lex Luthor? I think that's what that's supposed to be based on. It's either cyborg or Lex Luthor, I forget. Alright. I think I've already stated my opinion on Kano's Fatal Blow in this game. Being that I really like it, so... I mean, it's the like, very, like, just disrespectful kick in the rib. That does, like, no damage. It's just, like, the very disrespectful kick in the rib that does, like, barely 2% damage that makes me really like that one. Like, it's so unnecessary, but it's such a Kano move. The rest of it is fine, I just think that's a really good detail that makes it better. He's kind of got a similar ender to Noob Saibot's, where it's like the hook through the jaw. This does feel like a good, like, it's kind of like his MK9 one. A good utilization of his super speed. And, like, not just, like, him running super fast, but him, like... You see his, like, proficiency with his blades. And see how fast he can actually, like, swing. So you see, like, his speed is not just for running. Which I think was a nice detail. It's nice to see them actually acknowledge that, It's nice to see them actually, like, acknowledge Cabal's speed in more than just, like, running. And also in more than just the Nomad Dash. Because I feel like his, like, speedster, like, qualities don't exactly get acknowledged all that much. I mean, the final punch is cool, I think everything up to the final punch is really good. Like this like little combo at the start. Summoning the fucking dragon is just badass. The final punch is fine, but I just don't know if I like it as much as the rest of it. If I remember, this like defies physics, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of stabbing with their fans, and a lot of defying the laws of physics and gravity, but this isn't terrible. This isn't terrible, but, like, aside from the end there, you don't really see much of, like, her teleport or, like, her other, like, fan moves. Like, they kind of forget that she does more with her fans than just stab. Alright, Kung Lao. I think, does it start the same way? It does. Literally the same starter from NKX. It's pretty good. It's a good use of the hat. The rapid punch at the start, which is very Kung Lao. Same thing with like just like the little shove to shove you headfirst into the knife. Or the hat, sorry. It's like the little details I like about these. Again, I feel like they just got more creative with them overall. I mean, I guess in a way it does utilize her whole kit. But I feel like it doesn't do it in an extremely interesting way. Like, she has the teleport, she has the glaive, she starts it with the staff and ends it with the nitro kick, which is like... that is her whole kit being utilized, but I feel like it's not being... It's just not being used in, like, the most interesting of ways. Like, Nightwolf's I think, was used in a better way. Nightwolf is a better example of, like, a Fatal Blow that uses their whole kit. Because I feel like that was more interesting than Jade's. Again, I give it points for actually just using the character and using everything she's known for in her super. Just could have been done a bit better is all. Is it? No, his is a dash, I think. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty cool one, especially for RoboCop. I feel like that's really cool. Especially just like the random like when he takes like you think he's just gonna stab him with the terminal strip, and then it's just punching a hole straight through him. Like that's pretty, you know, unique for that. That's a good like subversion there of like what you expect to happen. All right, yeah, options. I know Scarlet's, because Scarlet's was one of the first ever Fatal Blows ever shown off in this game. I know it's pretty cool. I mean, it's what you want from a bloodbender. Just using the characters, like, fucking you up so you bleed enough so that she can make weapons out of the blood that she's spilling. Like, it's just... I don't think I could really think of a better super for her. Or a better like, Fatal Blow. Just, like, stabbing you in ways so that you bleed the most, so that she can just turn all of that into her own weapons. Aaron Black, I wish I liked Aaron Black as much in this game as I did in MKX. I I just feel like his character isn't as interesting in this one. He also is in this game, but he gets like no time in the story. And is like barely referenced at all. He does have a really fucking cool fatal blow, though. I will say that is a pretty fucking good fatal blow. Just this right here. I don't know how those coins stay in the air for that long. I don't care. That's just cool. Just a good way to like up like the trick shotting of like his original. You know, once again, I don't think D'Vorah got a good, like, super. This has, like, the same problem, I think, as, like, her MKX one, or at least a similar issue of, like... I feel like she got, like, a similar issue as, like, MKX, where it's not terrible. It does what the character, like, it makes good use of, like, what she's known for, which is, like, the... I forget what those are called on her back. But it doesn't use them in the most interesting of ways that I feel like could be done with that character. Like, I think there is more you could do with that. It's a shame that... Like, I don't like D'Vorah. She is my least favorite character from, like, the NRS timelines, but... Like, the NRS, like, trilogy, but... You could at least have, like, some good-looking, like special moves, you know? Like supers, and, like, an X-rays. I mean, I do appreciate Kotal Khan basically throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you. Like, he could easily just drive the sword in him more himself. The fact he summoned an entire totem just to slam it on the sword to drive it further in is kind of funny. Wait, what is she was? Oh, she's a punch walk. Yeah, Shiva's fatal blow is not really great. Like, the punch walk is cool, but it's so reliant on, like, her new, like, shield weapon that we don't really see anything, like, Shiva specific, like the fireballs, the stomp, the ground pound, like... There's nothing very Shiva specific, or even, like, Shokan specific besides the punch walk. Like, the overuse of the shield is a... The fuck was that, like... Yeah, the overuse of the shield is a bit sad. Fucking Rambo in this game. That's still so weird to me. I like that it actually does 2 hits at the end, one for, like, the actual hit, and then the replay of it gets another hit. That's kind of funny. I mean, the arrow through the face is definitely the highlight of this. Like, that's definitely the most visceral part. That is funny that it gets 2 hits there at the end for no reason. I mean, for Rambo, that's not bad. The fact that he still has, like, a shock move is pretty cool. Alright.
Get over here.
I mean, they were just feeling a bit goofy with this one. From the thumbs up to the get over here, like... They were feeling some type of way.
Get over here.
I think overall it's pretty like the hits themselves are pretty boring, like, but I mean it's Terminator. I mean, what more is he really gonna do besides just punch you and headbutt you and all that? I think the thumbs up and the get over here, while cheesy and kind of corny, do make it a better Fatal Blow overall. Like, they add to it and make it a bit better. Gearus and Collector. Talking about wasted potential. I'm glad Gearus is getting another chance in MK1. And I feel like Collector could have been something really cool. He just got no time to shine in this game. I mean, for a guy with, like, the power to control time, this is a pretty cool Fatal Blow. This is probably one of my favorites, honestly. I think it's the way all the blood just kind of sits there. Because, like, and the way your character, like, or not your character, like, the other, like, character makes the faces like they're in pain, but they can't really make any, like, they're kind of, like, stuck feeling it. Is pretty cool. I think my only complaint is the fact that it doesn't use the gauntlet you pick for his gear item. It just uses like the default sand gauntlet. And he also has a sword in that he does not have in his moveset, so you can probably assume his Fatal Blow was made before his moveset was finalized. Which is interesting. You know, it's actually pretty good for him. Just the stabs in the back. It's actually pretty good. It actually isn't too bad for this character. I may not like him that much, but that's a pretty good Fatal Blow that I think does at least a good job of doing kind of his gimmick. Two characters who were DLC that are main roster in the next game. It's actually kind of funny how that works out. What do you got? You know, I can't really say much about that. That is like, that's just Sindel. Basically uses everything she's got. You know, it's like, that is just Sindel. I feel like that's... It's a good job of showcasing all of her moves. Really fucks your neck up. But you know what? I think I like it better than her, it's definitely better than her MK9 X-Ray. I think I like it a bit better than her MKX X-Ray, honestly. I think it does a bit better of a job showing, like, her, like, more savage, like, personality. And also, you know, you see Melina take a bite out of an opponent just in regular gameplay, like, that's always going to be kind of better. Alright. We have Mother Nature versus the Wind God, I guess. That's not a bad one. I don't think this one's terrible. I think, like, the 3 rocks that just, like, I guess are there to, like, pin you to the tree is a bit weird. But, like, the first and last hit are pretty cool. I think it's just, like, the middle bit that is kind of off to me. That's pretty cool, actually. Again, just utilizes his whole kit. Has a lot of good, like the sword being set up and then coming back is pretty cool. I think that's a pretty good one. Alright, we just gotta take a look at Rain. Poor Rain, always just kind of being left for last. Just like when they're making the rosters, Rain is always just kind of left for last. Alright. Let's go and take a look at this. I mean, him literally stabbing you with water is pretty cool. I think it definitely picks up at the end. I think the end's the best. Like, this is the best part of it. I kind of wish the kick at the start, like the roundhouse he throws, was actually his like roundhouse that he does, like the around the world kick. I think that would have made it a bit better. Like he kicks him to the other side of the screen and then starts doing what he was doing like for the rest of it. But I guess I can't complain that much. We did a tournament for that. We could do, let's do a retrocade. Let's show off my other favorite map, because tournament's my favorite, like, tournament and retrocade are probably my 2 favorite, like, stages in this game. Alright, look at Fatalities. These are gonna be very much more gory, so be ready for that. That's pretty fucking gruesome. Him just summoning his own little fucking demons just rip you apart. What's the other one? Back forward, back. Oh yeah. That's a pretty good one. Literally putting the soul of Kintaro into you, so that Kintaro just rips himself out of you. Also, just seeing Kintaro in general is a big W. That's a pretty fucking good one. That's a really good one. I just realized I'm picking, like, I'm gonna be able to do the other person's face. I really should just be picking, like, the default person, I think is Sub-Zero. We'll just start doing that from now on. I don't know why I was, like, picking specifically another character. Literally golf swinging your head out of your back. Also, I did see the name of this one. It's literally called Back Blown Out. You know, it's accurate. It's not incorrect. That is a pretty good one. That is a pretty... I can't say I would ever think of that for Shao Kahn, but... You know, they did. Oh, no. Well, that's just horribly fucking disgusting. It just makes a nice little pile with your head and your guts. I mean, I guess that's a way to utilize the spear. Sorry, Sub-Zero, you're gonna be our main target for a little bit. Yeah. You can already tell these are gonna be much more gory and just more shocking and disgusting than, the fatalities of yesterday. That one's actually just very creative. I think a bit, like, needlessly gory at the start. Like, just watching the guts just pile out at the beginning is a bit unnecessary. But I think the ender was actually pretty creative. Literally turning you into an ice sculpture. That's actually really cool. Again, like, I kind of more inclined to like the more creative ones rather than just, like, the outright, look at all this blood and guts, you know? I mean, I might be biased. This is a really cool fatality. Like, her literally taking your brain and putting it in a robot for the Cyber Initiative is a pretty fucking cool fatality concept, and I think they nailed it. Like, again, like, I mean, yeah, you see a fucking brain, but, like, that one's not, like, needlessly, like, gory for no reason. Like, that one is just, like, creative and really cool, you know? Like, I think that hits that right mark of just being creative and not overly gory. What do we got? Oh my. Okay. They've been dead for a while now. I feel like if you didn't break your neck at the beginning, so you basically weren't dead for most of that, that would have been much better. It's a cool looking one. Having him summoning the bear to rip you in half is cool. I just think it would have been cooler if he just went straight into the hitting you up and then the bear comes to rip you in half, instead of, like, basically killing you at the very start and then the rest of it is just BMing you. It's still infinitely better than every other Nightwolf fatality we've seen him have before. Like, compared to other Nightwolf fatalities, that's so much better. So I'm fine with it. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Literally using your exposed organs as target practice. I think that one definitely hits a bit needlessly gory, but, you know, for Nightwolf, I'll take that because this man gets disrespected in the fatality department, so for him to have actually two, like, decent fatalities, I'll take that for him. Nightwolf finally getting a bit of respect. Actually, do I remember? I think I remember what Jokers are. You didn't see that? Other way. That way. I did back forward, it was forward back. I gotta mess up at least one fatality every time. It's destined. I do like them using the fatality sign as, like, the like thing for the for fatality. That's creative. The fake out friendship is funny. I think the worst part of that is the sign splitting you in half for seemingly no reason, because that just doesn't make any sense. feel like this one's just like super fucked up, but also admittedly super creative. And it doesn't have like the needless gore. Like, yeah, like they're all gonna be bloody and they're all gonna have like a bit of like just needless gore, but I feel like at least also we're gonna do this just because you should at least hear the classic voices for some of these. But like admittedly, like some of the, like they're all gonna be very bloody and have a bit of needless gore. But as long as like they're creative and don't do too much of the gore, I'm fine with it. You know? I mean, it's just fucked up, dude. It's just so fucked up. I mean, it's like, it's super just disgusting. But also just weirdly fitting for Johnny, you know? I mean, it's a really good throwback to the like the triple uppercut like glitch fatality from MK3, I believe, MK2 or MK3, where you could do a glitch when Johnny does his classic uppercut like decapitation like fatality, and he basically just punches 3 heads off the opponent. That's a really cool way to like do a throwback to that, while still kind of making it make sense, you know? And also really fitting Johnny, being the Hollywood guy. I feel like that one's actually not too bad. Her having to shoot you up so you hit the helicopter is a bit interesting. Like, you think they would just have you go right to it, but she has to kind of like sit there and kind of struggle with it for a minute, which is interesting. That one's okay. I think these are kind of just like... I can't decide if that one is like more creative or that one's just kind of more needless gore. I would say that one's probably just like needlessly gory. I mean, they're better than Sonya's MKX fatalities, but they're definitely a bit... eh. I think Sonya could do more. Like, that one's definitely just creative. That one's actually just very creative. Trying to 1v1. No, I'm just looking at fatalities right now. I don't know if I will play online. Maybe, but... Not at the moment. Sorry. Alright. What else we got here? Girl power, okay. Oh, I know what this one is. I mean, that's just... I mean... how much force do you have to kick somebody in the nuts to completely just send, like, to just throw their spine out, basically? Like, there was some force behind that. Alright. I keep thinking I need to, like, select the next person as if we're gonna be able to just swap the characters. Alright. What do you got, Jax? Jesus. You know, they at least do a good job of selling it with, like, the impact. I think you kind of need, like, the heavy impact to sell that. That is a pretty good one for Jax. Back forward, yeah, back forward, back. Yep. This is a very goofy one. The sound effect was very unnecessary, but I appreciate them for throwing it in. Jax actually had some really good fatalities. I think that's a better way to do, like, kind of over-the-top, goofy fatalities for Jax rather than, like, what we saw on MKX. What do we got here? You know, we see, like, the whole exploding, like, we see this a lot in this game where bodies just explode into, like, basically 4 pieces a lot. This might be one of the coolest versions of it. Just, like, the sound and the shot of, like, when he's sending the energy through all the chains is really cool. I think that's one where, like, the body just detonating like that actually works, as opposed to some other ones. Oh, do I? Oh, okay, well, I have a bunch of easy fatalities, so that's fine, but it's probably I don't have that. Can I not? Hello? Can I not? I have to actually look this fatality up. Because you can't easy fatality. That's interesting. Go back forward. That is so weird that I don't have that. That is the first time I've not had a fatality. That is pretty... doing essentially a blood eagle. And then even having, like, the sounds of... Definitely not, like, the sounds of an eagle, but, like, kind of like the screeching sound of, like, an eagle, almost. That's pretty cool. So I didn't have... I'm actually very surprised I did not have that, fatality unlocked. I never really played Spawn, but even then, I should have had his fatality unlocked. Even just from, like, doing it. What is this? Oh, this is trailer fatality. I mean, it's a trailer fatality, so it's cool, but it's definitely, like, it's much more cinematic than it needs to be, I think. Which I guess that isn't really a valid complaint, saying something is too cinematic. It's just... It's one of those fatalities, like, because it's in a trailer and because it's, like, the one they used to advertise a lot, you see it so much that it's kind of just like, okay. Like, yeah, it's that fatality. Okay. It was mid, but it was further back. I mean, that one's just really cool. I think it's the end shot that really sells it, but like this like final like freeze frame here. This is a really cool one. That's a damn good fatality. Cause yeah, it's not overly bloody and doesn't have a. It's not just a mountain of gore being dumped on the screen. It's like just genuinely a really creative like fatality for Scorpion. Alright. I already know both the Noob Saibot's fatalities, but that's fine. Like I said, there's a few fatalities that just do this, like, oh, person explodes and all the guts fly at the screen. It's like, I mean, it's not bad, but I feel like they could have definitely done a cooler ending, because it started out really promising, but then it just fizzles out at the end. Yeah. But don't worry, because he's got a really good one here. I mean, we're talking about creative. Again, I'm so heavily biased. I will admit it. Noob Saibot's my main. My favorite character in this game. I'm gonna be biased and say that this is the best one because it just is, in my opinion. Literally putting the clone in you and it having it like just claw its way out. It's kind of what we saw with Kentaro in Shang Tsung's fatality. And I thought the Kentaro fatality was just as cool. It also is the sounds that really make that so much more visceral, you know? You know, it's a shock factor fatality. This is just showing me how desensitized I've become to this shit. I mean, it's a fatality that just solely exists for shock factor. Like, it makes sense for Baraka, he's a cannibal, but straight up, that solely exists just to shock you. You know, that has a cool moment where when Baraka's like in their face, like holding his blades to their neck. But I feel like the rest of it just doesn't really hold up as well. I feel like that was just kind of okay. Alright, Raiden. What do you got? It's one that just ends super weak, because I think, like, you had something really good going with him, like, holding your body together with lightning only. And then he just shoots a lightning ball and that's it. Very weird way to end it. You could make a case that this one has a bit more needless gore than it needs to. But seeing him use, like, the lightning swords is pretty cool. And I think the Ender still does a good job of keeping up with the rest of it. We gotta really analyze these, you know? We gotta really dive deep and analyze these fatalities. If we're not diving deep to analyze them, what are we doing? Yeah, Jackie. I mean, exploding head, so, like, you know, woohoo blood, but, like, what's with, like, the running towards them, shooting the mines, just to stop dead in her tracks to detonate them? That just kind of feels weird, you know? Creative use of, like, the wall, like, the shield, like, wall, whatever, grenades. And the heart beating against the glass, or against the wall, is definitely that, like, little Mortal Kombat touch. Yeah, I think Jack is really, like, a really good first, like, second fatality and a kind of lackluster first one. Alright, Sub-Zero, my original main. The character I tried to main first. It's got a cool little action shot at the end there with him punching the head apart. It's not a bad one. Could he have maybe done a bit more there? I mean, yeah. But I think for what it wasn't bad. It's a good way to, like, update the spine rip and try and put a unique twist on it. And I will say, seeing him actually use his ice clone in a fatality is pretty cool. Even though it's funny, he doesn't actually have ice clone in this game, so the fact that it was kind of relegated to a fatality is interesting. Alright, Kano. Let's see what you got in this game. Alright, what do you got, Kano? Oh, I remember this one. This one's just fucked up. I mean, it's just fucked up. It's just heavily fucked up. The rock music as well in the background. They really felt some type of way with that one. Back down forward. Okay. You know, it's probably one of the most, like, obviously a lot of blood. Probably one of the more tame fatalities we've seen in this game so far. Like, that actually, like, that wasn't too, like, that kind of felt like an MKX fatality that, like, very, like, short and simple. But I mean, with all, like, with what we've been like, just so far with the fatalities, what we've had so far, I actually don't mind that entirely. Like, I'm actually kind of okay with, like, that being one of Kano's fatalities. Like, obviously, compared to what we see in this game, it's definitely, like, I guess, lackluster, but I don't think that's necessarily bad here. I mean, it's cool they finally remembered that Cabal has super speed and a fatality, so... That's all I can really say about that. I mean, like, a cool use of, like, friction and stuff, and just using his super speed in a finisher will always be pretty cool. And time for the finisher my friend hates the most. I mean, the sound effects are disgusting. The sound effects absolutely are disgusting and sell it way too much. And, like, the final split is, like, awful. But for some reason, me and my friend always feel that, like, the slice to the Achilles is the most painful part of that fatality. And honestly, I still feel that way. What's I think? Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Hunter MK1. I still stand by that fucking split to the Achilles is just way too fucking brutal. Yep. Very quick, but I mean, the 1-inch punch is pretty cool. Hitting you with a 1-inch punch like that, like, the setup to it is pretty okay by this game's standards, but I think the 1-inch punch is really cool. Again, it does that thing where, like, the body just detonates for no real reason, but I don't mind it that much with that one, because it just, at least that makes sense, you know. Interesting, he plays like a carnival game with your body, like, whacking it as it comes down. It is cool to see them take his original fatality, his original non-lethal, like, cartwheel fatality, and then incorporate that into the start of that one. Like, that is pretty cool. I don't know, we'll show off some of the more unique skins, I guess. Gornado. We're in for something with that name. I actually like that one because it has like a build-up to it. I mean, it is just needless gore in that one, but I mean, I think that's kind of the point. But I like that, like, it kind of has like a build-up with the sound effects before, like, it hits like the final, like, little freeze frame there. Not sure I like that one as much. That one definitely just feels a bit weird. I can't really fully explain why, but it just feels a bit weird. You know, to kind of like, just to like say, like, so far these fatalities have just been very fucking gory. Some of them almost disturbingly, I would say, disturbingly slow. I mean, Kung Lao's definitely late, like, the NRS games had a bit of a thing for theatrics, so definitely makes sense for him here. I mean, compared to, like, the Flower Pot one from MKX, I think that one's better. Let's see what he's got. Oh, yeah, this one. Interesting choice for an ender shot, but I mean, that one's just very brutal. In classic Kung Lao fashion, he has one fatality that's just extremely painful and brutal to watch. We're definitely flying through these. We're moving a lot faster through these fatalities than we were MKX. I don't really know what that means. Why was that so fast? Why was that so weirdly fast? And missing a lot of impact. And they do that thing again where they treat her staff like it's like a lightsaber. Like they treat her staff like it's a fucking sword, and it's so weird. Fucking the like twirl at the end is just fucking BM. But definitely better than our first one. That first one was very like weird. I'm not sure what they were really thinking on that one. I don't know why they keep insisting that her staff could be treated like a sword. Like, I get, like, you're trying to establish that she's just really strong, and so she's able to do that, but it just... It's weird, because, like, none of her moves treat it like that, you know? Oh, yeah. It's a good little nod to the movie where Murphy gets a little bit of his own, I guess, I don't really know, what do you call that? Like, I guess, like, just a little bit of his own, like, form of justice, I guess, or, like, revenge. By hitting somebody the same way that he got killed. And then throwing in the fucking... the big-ass Ed 209. Why is this one, like, oddly badass? Like, for RoboCop especially, it's, like, oddly badass. Again, it's got that thing where just body detonates for no real reason. Like, the body just fucking explodes for no real reason. I guess that one it has more of a reason than anything, but like... You just see that kind of thing so much in this game that you're just like, can we please stop? That is a pretty good one. Stabbing you with your own blood, and then using that to stab your eye through your head. That is a pretty good one. And if I remember, I think her second one, at least for me personally, is better. I honestly like this one just more, because I think it's a bit more creative with just, like... I'll always value creativity over anything, and that one's just way more creative. Her just pumping your heart, like, so much that it just explodes. Also, we see, like, these, like, weird tendrils that she has, like, nowhere else. Like, you don't see those tendrils anywhere else in her moveset, I think. Maybe you do, I don't remember. I played Scarlet for a little bit, but I don't really remember a lot of her moves. But that one's a good like mix of like gross and like unique. Wouldn't that also, like, burn through his... Wouldn't that also melt his foot? You know what? That's okay. It's not, like, anything too special. I mean, considering he had, like, he went from the caltrops to the acid trap, I guess that makes sense for Aaron Black. That's not a terrible one. Well, that one's just miles better, in general. He's using a bear trap to open up your torso and then just blasting his rifle through it, like... That's probably Aaron Black's best fatality between his two appearances. Like, is that one just kind of needlessly violent? Yeah. Is it also just a way better fatality than his acid one? Yeah. Am I being very inconsistent in how I feel about these fatalities? More than likely, for sure. As much as I fucking despise Devora, this might be one of the best fatalities in this game. This fucking thing-looking ass fatality. This fucking John Carpenter's the thing-looking ass fatality. Like, I despise this character, but my god is that just such a good fatality. Oh, god. And you got this fucked up thing here. This fucked up shit right here. Oh, God. That one was just like... That wasn't even, like, specific for Devora. They were just like, yeah, fuck it, let's just have her rip your torso off. I saw Nightwolf do that earlier, and it's like, why? So unnecessary. Yeah, Koda. Jesus Christ. Dude, the first kick that doesn't, like, completely, like, it's the first one when he kicks your head over that ledge, and all it does is just, like, basically knock your head off just a little bit. That might be the, like, most disgusting part of that whole finisher, is that first kick. Like, holy shit. Oh boy. I mean, it's an evolution of MKX where he drinks your blood like Kool-Aid straight from your heart. This time he said, fuck even doing that, I'm just gonna treat your fucking heart like a gusher. These fucking fatalities, man. These fucking fatalities. I'm kind of like realizing something, but I'll mention it when we're done here. Oh boy. Oh god. I mean, that's a Shokan fatality if I've ever seen one. From skinning your arms is like a throwback to one of her original fatalities to the Stomp. Like, it is definitely a Shiva fatality. With just that added, like, MK11, like, spice of gore. There we go. I didn't know how close I needed to be. Jesus Christ. Oh, the sound. Oh, God. Bro, why is this so fucked up? The worst part of that one was the fucking sound effect when she's pulling you up. God, that was fucking disgusting. That wasn't even like Why did you say it's weird? Why did you say it's so weird? It's not even like... It's not even like that's like so specific to Shiva that like it makes perfect sense. It's just disgusting for the sake of it. Like, what the fuck? How come whenever she says Rambo, it like has, it sounds like there's like 5 of her saying it layered on top. I mean, I'm pretty sure that entire fatality is literally a reference to the film. I'm pretty sure both of his fatalities are like entirely references to the films. I have to look this one up too. Second fatality. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, because I can't easy fatality it because it won't let me. Man, it would be really nice if I could just, you know, get the answer I'm looking for. Down, forward, down, B. Got it. Where's it? There we go. We got it. Huh.
Rambo wins.
I mean, they're okay, like, for like, they're okay fatalities. I think they're just, it's just, like, they're entirely movie references. And I don't really know the Rambo films that well to really, like, know. But I'm pretty sure I've seen, like, their references to the films. I mean, they're properly gory. They're Mortal Kombat-ified, I guess, but I just don't know enough about, like, the actual Rambo films to know, like, if that's accurate for him. You know, that was really good until just, like, the random body explosion from the shotgun just kind of ruins it. Like, that was a really good one up until that. Like, up until, like, the end there. It's so weird that they just really like the exploding body. I mean, same with, like, the Rambo films. I'm not as well versed in the Terminator films, so I can't, like, appreciate this as, like, a Terminator fan. Like, I'm sure if you are a fan of the movies, this is, like, a really fucking cool fatality. It's cool, but I'm sure, like, for fans, it's, like, it's a way better. Like, I just think it's, like, it's cool. It's fine. But I'm sure if you actually, like, really know those movies, like, that's, like, really, like, that is, like, the best fatality ever created, you know? Alright, Garrus. The whole, like, setup to that is very, like, mediocre, but the final hit kind of makes up for it. Him just palming your head and your fucking brain just flies out, which is like... This shit doesn't make any sort of sense, but whatever. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. It's the same shit with Devora and her, like, second fatality. It's like, why? What? Like, why? It's just needlessly fucking gruesome, but why? Why does he get that? 6 more characters. Good God. I mean, he's the collector. I mean, it's a pretty, like, good fatality for someone named the Collector. He's just ripping parts off and putting it in his bag. He's just using you as for some shit he can sell. How the fuck does that work? I think that starts, like, pretty promising. But the ending just kind of makes no sense. How does he hit you so hard with that, like, that ball and chain that your fucking eyeballs just pop out? How does that work? It's okay. Tis just okay. The screaming your skin off is definitely the better part of that. Why the eyeballs? Why? That's another thing. This game is very obsessed with eyeballs. That one's just extremely fucked up as well. Like a lot of them have been, just really fucked up. Oh boy. I can only fucking imagine what this is gonna be. What in the Sonic fucking... What? What in the gotta go fast bullshit? Interesting choice. I mean, it's cool. It's something we haven't seen from Melina, so that's cool. Just very interesting. I don't have hers. What is her second one? I gotta look this up. Violent Delights. Forward, down, down, B. Hurry up. Jeez, how is... That just doesn't even make sense, but sure. Who fucking even knows how that works? Sure. Honestly, I think her first one was better, honestly. That one just made a lot of not sense. My brain's going very numb from just staring at a bunch of blood. Fucking Freddy Krueger-ass finisher, Jesus. Literally some fucking Nightmare on Elm Street type shit, which I think is actually intentional, oddly enough. It's actually pretty cool. I don't think it overdoes it on the gore like some other ones. You know, I think the ending to that is actually pretty cool. Like, firing a fucking beam at him that just disintegrates them. I think if it literally just disintegrated them and leaving, like, nothing left, that would have been a better thing than just the body exploding like that. And also, like, get rid of the entire first part where she just crushes you with the rocks. Like, if you just had her, like, grow to size, crush them down so they can't move, and then hit them with the beam and just disintegrates them, that would have been way better. Like, I think they had the setup to a really good fatality. They just didn't capitalize on it, like, entirely. Alright, Fujin, what do you got, my man? That's cool. That's actually pretty cool. Not using, like, the sword, but, like, whipping the sword so whipping the sword so much that he's literally causing, like, wind to, like, shred them apart. And then just staking them to the ground like that is actually pretty cool. That's actually a really cool one. Is it? What? Is it one of those things where it's not actually close? Is it like in the range you start in? Oh, is it? Oh, wait, it might be. Yeah, it's like in your face, close. Okay, very close. Once again, it's just that thing of like. It's just the body exploding, and it's like, you have such a good setup, and then you ruin it with that ender, and it's just not as good. One character left. Good old Rain. It's like you have such a good, like, start, and then the end just falls kind of flat when it ends like that, you know? Yep. Why does he feel the need to catch your eyes?
Rain wins.
Why does he feel the need to catch the eyeballs and the water ball? Also, I'm realizing Rain, Melina, and Rambo all have different, like, weird-sounding, like, name calls. And I think that's because they were the last 3 DLC characters added to this game. So, the voices, like, the voice actress has, like, it sounds a bit different. Because the voice actress for Chronica, at least for, like, this announcer, the Chronica announcer just sounds different. I think that's what's going on. That's why it sounds kind of off. Compared to, like, the other, like, compared to all the other voice lines, because they were done so much later. Final fatality. Hey, he did the super kick! I forgot it was a Queen reference! That's a pretty good one. One, it does what it does what I, like, I was saying it should have done in the Fatal Blow, where when he does the kick, it's his super kick that sends you, like, the around the world kick. And then the Queen reference is just the cherry on top. That was actually a really good one to end with. Alright. That's all the fatal blows and fatalities of MK11. Here, I will just... Here, I'll just go to the, what is it? Set this up so we have something to look at while we do this. So, at the end of all this, what are the thoughts here? I felt like I did not enjoy a lot of these fatalities as much as I thought I was. I thought this game had a better supply of them, but I feel like a lot of them default to just, like, body go boom, lot of, like, viscera, because we want to shock the people playing this game with our fatalities, and, like, all that will be left is just, like, the organs and then arms, legs, and head. I felt there was way too much of that. To the point where it's like almost half the fatality, like, obviously it's a way more of an exaggeration. It's just like, in reality, it's probably only like 6 fatalities that do that, but, like, when we saw it 3 times within, like, the first, like, 2 or 3 rows of characters, and it just becomes very obvious, like, when you see it that many times, it's like, okay, it's kind of getting old. Like, people say... I remember seeing, like, that... Like, you saw, like, a lot of the eyeball stuff. People said, like, the main theme of this game was eyes with the fatalities. I honestly feel like it was just, like, the body exploding. Like, there were so many times where a fatality was being set up pretty well just to end with body go boom, lots of blood. It's like, you had such a good build-up, and then you just kind of killed it at the end. Because instead of ending with, like, I think a more creative, like... It's gonna sound very fucking, like... It's gonna sound really fucked up, but, like... Instead of having a creative way of dismemberment, they're just like, let's just separate every body part, and then throw some organs in the middle, and then that's the end shot. It's like... When you see it enough times, it just kind of becomes... boring? It's such a weird thing to say that, but it does. But, I mean, like, I guess fatalities I would say I enjoyed the most. I mean, obviously, Noob Saibot's, like, when he puts Saibot inside you, I forget what it's called, I think Double Trouble. Putting Saibot inside of you and having him crawl out. Same thing with Shang Tsung, where he puts Kintaro's soul in you and Kintaro just breaks his way out. Those are really cool. Because, like, at least that is, like, body go boom, but, like, there is genuine purpose. And it's not just, like... It's not like with Terminator, where Terminator hits you with a shotgun and your body just fucking detonates for no reason. You know? Not like that kind of thing. Like, there actually felt like kind of purpose, and at least the end shot was much cooler than just, like, the fucking character exploding. I mean, Johnny had... I think Johnny's triple uppercut one was pretty funny. That one's, like, a good, like, way to update his, like, class, like, technically a glitch from the original games. A really cool way to incorporate that. Trying to think, like, some others. I know, like, looking back, it's not particularly visceral, but the one with Cabal, where he slices your Achilles, is definitely very, like... That sticks with you. It sticks with you. I mean, overall, these fatalities weren't bad, but I'm definitely a bit more disappointed in them than I thought I was going to be. And I think that's kind of why I'm looking more forward to MK1, is because the fatalities they've shown off are so much more creative, and yeah, it's a lot of blood, but they seem to at least be incorporating more unique enders and making it all feel a bit more unique than where this game, where it was like in this game where it was like 3 different characters do 3 different moves and it all ends the exact same way. Like, I feel like we're seeing a way more unique, like, effects on everything, you know, in MK1, which has me very much eager for definitely makes me more eager for MK1 to see like what those fatalities are like, because I feel like those ones definitely feel like. Cause I mentioned it earlier that I was gonna talk about this, like what I realized. Like it wasn't just the whole like me being a bit more disappointed in these, but I realized it wasn't even like the super gory fatalities that I was like the biggest fan of. Like the ones I enjoyed the most were the ones that were just really creative with the characters, you know? Like the ones that just really take advantage of like what the character can do, like Scarlet. Scarlet's second one where she just pumps your blood, like she pumps your heart so fast that your heart explodes. It wasn't even that, like, compared to all the other fatalities in this game, not even close to as, like, bloody or gory. But holy shit was, like, it's one that kind of sticks with you because it's like, damn, you don't really see that. Like, that's not something you see that often. Johnny's triple uppercut, not particularly bloody or gory, but is a super memorable one because of how, like, creative and unique it is. Noob Saibot's double trouble, sticking Saibot in you is not really something you see a lot. You know? I think, like, the fatalities that are they're gonna stick with me even after, like, we move on to Mortal Kombat 1 and we leave this game. The ones that are just gonna always stick with me, I think that kind of stick with a lot of people in general, are those more unique takes on fatalities, like those more creative ones that make good use of, like, what the character can do, and are not just, like, shock and gore, like a lot of these were. I think, yeah, I mean, like, graphically, they are very much an improvement, obviously. And obviously, they make a big deal about their gore tech being, like, very advanced in these games. But, like, at the end of the day, like, your gore can be you can have as much gore and viscera and just guts flying everywhere as you want. But if it's just the same kind of thing over and over for every character, it kind of loses the charm. And you kind of just, like, I'd rather see characters, like, doing things that maybe aren't as bloody, but are so, like, creative and unique to them. I know I keep saying, like, even I'm getting tired of saying creative and unique, but I mean, like, that, at the end of the day, that's just what it is. Like, when you think of fatalities, you're like, these are, like they're finishing moves. Like, there's, like, special ways to just obliterate your opponent. And I think they should both look and feel that way, and not just in the name fatality, but like in what the move itself actually is. I'm glad I kind of went back and went through these games, because I think I definitely came out with a different opinion. I think I definitely came out with like different opinions that I thought I was gonna have for these. You know, like I thought I was gonna enjoy them just more and more as we went. But, like, going through from Deadly Alliance to now, like, doing all those fatalities, like, I kind of just learned to, like, really look at them in a much different way that I really like. Like, I actually kind of liked looking at these in a different way that wasn't just like, oh, there's a lot of blood in the screen. It's a really good fatality. No, it's like, oh, that character did something that I don't think I've ever seen before. That maybe it's not the bloodiest thing I've ever seen, but, like, it was definitely the coolest thing I've seen in a while. Like, that's a good fatality. Like, I feel like my mindset on fatalities in these games, and even just super moves in general, has, like, the X-rays and the fatal blows, has kind of just changed. Just going through all of this, which is very interesting, because I don't think I ever thought that it would. I can't say that's what I kind of expected coming into this. I'm going to go ahead and switch the screens over, because we're going to go ahead and end stream over here. But yeah, I did not think I was going to come to this conclusion at the end of this. Alright. How are things going to go this way? So, I'm thinking plans for the next few days. I'm probably just going to take a break until MK1 comes out. Mostly, like, maybe there might be, like, a Dead by Daylight stream, or some one-off thing, like stream sometime in the next week, but I would not expect it. I'm probably just gonna, like, hold off on streaming until MK1 comes out, so I'm kind of, like, not burn out, and I kind of have some time to, like, regain, like, just, like, you know, some time to think about, like, what I want to do for Mortal Kombat 1, like, everything I want to do, and so that when I start when I probably do a bunch of streams in MK1, I won't be like burnout immediately. So yeah, I'll probably, maybe I might do something like next week or like during the weekend, but I would expect that I'm probably gonna taking like the next like week off from streaming, but until next Thursday. Next Thursday, if not Thursday, so I might have like I might be busy with work. Definitely Friday we will stream MK1. We will go through the story and look at all the characters and stuff. That is the plan. It's Thursday, if not Thursday, because I might be busy. Friday for sure, and then the entire weekend we are gonna just do straight streaming MK1 only. Both story, invasions mode, looking at the characters and online matches. That's the entire game plan for next week. But I don't want to burn myself out to the point where I go to do that and I'm just like, man, I just want to break. It's been a fun retrospective. Yeah, this has been very interesting. Like I said, I kind of came out of this with like very different outlook than I thought I was going to. But I'm kind of glad I did it. Kind of like just going through all of these has just been so interesting. Like I'm actually like, and like, I mean, I knew how desensitized I was to this stuff. Like obviously I watched a lot. Like half of these fatalities I watched with just a straight stone face. But even then, like, it was kind of cool looking back on all these, and like some of them were kind of making me like some of them were entertaining me in a way, like not in like haha lots of blood, but like holy shit, that was a really cool way to do that kind of way. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I did this. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this next week of just kind of relaxing and getting myself ready for Mortal Kombat 1. Do I have anybody I can raid? I hope. I don't. Damn. That's unfortunate. Alright, so I'm gonna I'll go ahead and end it off then. Thank you to the people that came out for just watching a bunch of blood and guts flying on the screen. I know, again, it's not... Again, I did this knowing it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everyone's gonna want to stop in for that, and I completely understand that. This was just a kind of like... I'd almost say this was more for me to just kind of like really step back and just look at like what makes fatalities cool, I guess. Like what makes the Mortal Kombat Golden Goose gimmick like really what it is. Is it all the blood or is it just the creativity? I guess we found the answer to that question. So you can throw as many buckets of blood on the screen as you want, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna favor the ones that maybe just have like a couple drops, but are a cool way for a character to take someone out. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy my next week of relaxation. I say it like streaming is so hard. It feels so weird to talk like that. Just like it's nice to like hop on stream for a little bit. I just don't want to burn myself out by forcing myself to stream to the point where I'm like, man, I've only been going for like 30 minutes and I'm already like tired and want to stop. Yeah, I'm gonna regain my eagerness and we'll have a good break after the stream. No problem. Like I said, maybe there'll be like one random Dead by Daylight like short stream somewhere in there if I really feel like it, but who knows? Yeah, it's been cool.